What's up, Monero fam? Welcome back to another episode of Monero News with two favorite people. I'm Matt, and I see Csill is wearing a crypto
Csill,
t-shirt.
yeah. I love
Nice.
this t-shirt. I should have got
Nice.
two, but
He had to
you
get
know,
some merch set up at MoneroTopia.
I didn't get you either. So I'm trying to see if I can have
I
it
should have
shipped.
gone. If I'd gone, I could have bought my own.
No,
That's
but
my own fault.
I'll have him ship one.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's so comfy.
Since we're already talking about MoneroTopia, I mean, you told me a lot of awesome things about it, but what, and shout out to Doug and Sunita for putting an awesome event on. What were your takeaways? What were you excited about? Give us the lowdown.
Yeah, I mean, first, yeah, it's a huge thank you to Doug and Sunita. They organized a wedding for I think 160 something people and MoneroTopia, and they went to Guatemala to stock up on green beans within like 2 weeks apart. So nice. Yeah, it was yeah, and even a day before they were just running errands back and forth. It was amazing. The layout, we were at the Miami Beach Women's Club, and the layout, I highly recommend the location because it was so fun that we had the conference. So you had the speakers, and then around the conference room, there was a balcony area where they had all the drinks all day, and you could just step outside, grab a drink, go back, listen to the speakers, not disturb anyone. It was just really nice because you could socialize and have fun, and it was just amazing. Yeah. And I was so proud. I was at the check-in area and I was checking people in, and when I first got there, I looked at the registration list, and like 90% of the email addresses were Tutta Nota, Proton Mail, and C Templar. And even that, it was like disposable and all kinds of fake emails. So I was
yeah, nice.
So proud.
Nice.
So
sounds
proud of
like
the
Monero
kids.
people. The Monero
Yeah,
kids.
yeah. I did mention the ones who had Gmail, like maybe you should consider. I was trying to be nice about it, but I was like, maybe you should consider, Proton Mail or
something a little bit more, less non-spy.
And we haven't used any fiat, just cash or Monero the whole entire time. The food truck was accepted. I set up the lady, the Mexican lady, and the whole entire time she was just scanning QR codes. She sold all the burgers for Monero.
That's
the
awesome.
whole day.
That's awesome.
So you could it was so awesome because you'd walk around and you would feel like what it would be like to just live in this MoneroTopia because everything was in Monero or Cash.
That's awesome. Were there any speakers that you saw that you enjoyed listening to?
Yeah, I loved Henry. I only saw 3 actually. I saw Seth, Henry, and Nam because I was at the check-in, right? So you couldn't be at both places.
Yeah, you were helping out.
Yeah, I was helping out all day, and I don't mind it because I got to say hi to everyone. So yeah,
nice.
it was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, anything else you want people to know about, or just like make sure you go to the next one, huh?
Yeah, and make sure that you use those tip cards. I think the most important, we kept talking about circular economy, and I think the most important circular economy is the one around you. So make sure that the vendors you're using, your barber or hairdresser or nail salon or restaurant you go often, they at least give them Monero tips so they're familiar.
Got it. All
right.
If
something happens, at least you can walk in and be like, hey, can you just accept Monero because I don't want to use CBDC. That's my plan anyway.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's it's coming, and people need an alternative, and that's Monero is an awesome alternative.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, well, that sounds like it was fun. I'm sorry I missed it.
Fun.
But I'll try to go to the next one. Maybe they'll have it in an international location? Because I know a few people's visas were getting denied.
Yeah, I think that was the big question, that what are we going to do next week? Because like part of it is it would be nice to have the same location, right? So that people get used to it. Like every year, MoneroTopia
Yeah.
is there. But at the same time, the US is such a funky location because the immigration office went bananas and they're just denying everyone. So it's pretty hard for someone from non-US to come. So I think if it was like in Mexico or somewhere in Latin America, then everyone could go. And quite frankly, I always thought that these conferences should be in like developing countries anyway, because let's be honest, I think if someone's from the UK or the US, they can afford it easier than someone, I don't know, West Africa to come to a
Yeah,
conference.
no,
You know what
that's
I mean?
very true. And I would imagine with everyone flying in and spending all of their money, it's probably a bit of a boost to the local economy as well.
Yeah. So it's usually if it's like in Mexico or any other country, then usually the flight is like the biggest expense, but everything else is a lot cheaper than the US anyway. So
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, I mean, still, well, definitely awesome job to Doug and Sunita, and look
yeah.
forward to whatever comes next from them. And if you want to tune into is that a weekly show they're doing?
Yeah, the Monero talk, they were a lot of people are asking them, like what can we do to help them and stuff. And they really never shield Monero talk, and they don't never ask for subscriptions, just like we never do that either. It's like yeah, so they were like, yeah, if you could subscribe to Monero talk or MoneroTopia, that would really help.
There we
So
go.
go at least subscribe. At least
Yeah,
you can do.
definitely. Definitely. All right. So let's see here. I'm going to share my screen and we'll
I
get
thought
in.
you're going somewhere.
Oh yeah, no, see ya. Good luck. You can finish this without me, right?
Sure. Well,
um,
here we go.
so yeah, we're diving into it here. I came across this post from John Foss on the Monero subreddit, and it looks like he's been asking for some funding to support the Monero Moon newsletter, which I enjoy the newsletter quite a bit. I try to give it a read each time there's a new issue out. But he's been asking for some funding. It doesn't look like he's gotten any funding. Actually, I don't think it hasn't been approved to request the funding. So like his request hasn't gone through, which means that
Oh,
you
gotcha.
can't even fund if you want to. He does have a donation address, but I think the donations haven't been enough to keep it going.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I don't know. I just wanted to bring some attention to this because he does do some good work, and I would hate to
Yeah.
see the Monero Moon go away. And I realize there's a lot of other people in the space who are doing like free things, similar to this, to the newsletters and kind of news recaps and whatnot, but not everybody's in the same situation. And if you really enjoy the Monero Moon and you want to keep going, I would head over to probably to his the website there and make a donation, because I don't believe you can actually contribute to the CCS proposal until it was passed. And I'm not reading some of the
Mm.
comments on GitHub. I'm not didn't seem like it was going to be passed, but maybe it will be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just want to bring some attention to that. I like the work that John does. So yeah,
I do too. He's awesome.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
And I like the Monero. It's very, very comprehensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you can tell that time and effort goes into it for sure. And I don't think he's asking for like a ton of money either, just enough to make it worth his while to do it instead of spending it on something else. So yep, check it out. And if you want to support him, make a donation. And yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say about that. Up next, we've got Poloniex. What is this? For
Oh,
maintenance.
yeah.
Why would any of you use sexes? Risk of paper Monero and the possible price suppression is way too high. Plus, you get KYC. Don't Poloniex. Don't sex, let them be. I love Kristen Bell.
Yeah. Well, no, but we've been talking about this. Like these centralized exchanges have been doing this for since the beginning of time, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. And
Comments
I'm
are funny.
100% sure they just selling it. They don't have it, and they also suppressing the price. And they are, instead of, if you're still using centralized exchanges, I don't know what's going on with you, but if you're still using it, please just delist yourself, like take it off. Cake Wallet, there's no reason right now to use centralized exchanges, especially for Monero. We have so many options. You can use local Monero and just push some liquidity to local Monero. You can use Cake Wallet. If you're moving from Bitcoin, you can just swap it Bitcoin to XMR. You can use Trade Ogre. You can buy vouchers as Tico vouchers and exchange it for Bitcoin, and then go to Cake Wallet and swap it, or any wallet, basically Blue Wallet, to something else.
Yeah, and I've been seeing. No, I totally agree with you. I mean, it's, you want to be self-custodying your Monero, because that's really the only way to know if it's actually yours or not, and not, you know, going to be confiscated when the regulatory winds blow a different direction. But
They crooks. They all crooks.
I've been seeing a bunch of people talk about, like, get your Monero off the exchanges by April 18th. So is there some kind of coordinated effort to, I mean, I know this happens, this is not the first time that there's been kind of a push to get your Monero off of the centralized exchanges, but it sounds like there's another, I've seen a few people tweeting about it, like, hey, by April 18th, you know, get your Monero off of the exchanges, because I think what it's trying to do is force a bit of a liquidity crisis. And you know, and then we get to see all of the exchanges who go down for maintenance for the Monero wallet, like, oh, you're trading paper Monero. And then we kind of know.
Exactly. And I think, first of all, we shouldn't even be messing with any of them, because you just get KYC. They don't appreciate you. It's all manipulation. Honestly, the regulated exchanges are the worst. I mean, just think about Coinbase, like even way back, every time there was a bull run, Coinbase was down, technical issues. Like, why don't they all audit that and go and check? Like, I'm pretty sure there was absolutely no technical issue, other than they wanted to sell on top and take the profits first, and then the users were not allowed to do it. And that was the technical issue. And they do it so many times.
That's a hefty allegation.
It happened so many times. It's not a coincidence. Like, the whole time it was the whole time it's functioning, right? And then there's one bull run, boom, the whole thing is down, crashed.
Right. I mean, I guess you could make the case that, you know, everybody's trying to get in and trade, and it's going down, but that would be a great cover up to sell a bunch while no one else is able to get in and execute orders. So I can see your point there. And actually, interestingly, I was reading another thread on Twitter from, what's his name, Kobe or something, and he was like, because Coinbase just put out a list of like coins they're thinking about listing or something like that, and he
found a bunch of shitcoin, huh?
A bunch of shit coins for sure. But he found some Ethereum addresses that, like, 24 hours before that announcement, have purchased like up to $100,000 of all of those coins. And it's like, that is 100% insider trading. Like, somebody got wind of that. Oh, hey, Coinbase is going to talk about these tokens that they might list. And then somebody, before that announcement drops, goes out and buys a bunch of those coins. And you can bet your butt that they're selling them as soon as that, you know, Coinbase announcement goes out, and they're probably making like 10 or 20x on their money. So it's it was a little shady.
Yeah, no, it's there's so much manipulation. And I mean, if you're in some other shitcoin, I get it, but for Monero was delisted, and they didn't want to deal with it. Besides Jesse, obviously, my respect to him, he's the only one with but he will fight for human rights, but no one else cares. You know, it's like, as soon as there's, you know, even the slightest resistance, or they trying to make out like if you want privacy, you are a criminal. And it's just I'm just like so tired of it.
Yeah.
The whole narrative, you know, it's like everyone who wants privacy is a criminal.
Yeah, it's pretty crappy. I don't know. I think people are starting to wake up. And actually, the thing that I showed you, I thought was interesting. I'm actually going to skip ahead here, but
Oh
that
yeah, I love
segment
it.
on John Oliver where it's talking about data brokers, and then how there's really no law protecting like your data, and people identifying you and selling this identifying data about you to anyone who's willing to pay for it. And he listed some examples of like this guy was stalking this woman, and he paid $45 and like got her location data or something, and I think ended up killing her, or something
Wow.
awful like that. And so I mean, and this is not just like isolated
Well, thank God I
incidents.
have no location data on
Yeah,
Galaxy
no,
OS.
but I mean, but most people don't, the hoops you have to jump through to make yourself anonymous or to have a safe level of privacy for that kind of scenario is incredibly
Yeah.
high. And it should just be, to me, it's like what you're saying, it's a human right. It should be just kind of enshrined, it should be enshrined into law. And I can permission what I want out, and if you want to request that from me, I can share it with you, or I cannot share it with you. I mean, it's the same. It's how it works in the physical world, and why would that not work in the digital world? Because the stakes are just as high. I mean, though everything is going digital. So, but
So
yeah,
I guess that's what he's saying, that for $40 we can get every Congress member's data.
well, no, they actually did a. I watched the video. He actually put out a bunch of ads that were just they were just around the Washington DC area, and it was like Ted Cruz, like erotic fan fiction, or like some just a bunch of like crazy stuff. And then they're able to see who clicks on the ads, and so he's got this big envelope of data of like potentially some Congress people or their staff who've been like clicking on these weird ads that they were running, and they're like threatening to release it and like cause a scandal. That's so yeah, it's kind of funny, but I think the point he's trying to make is like, why isn't there a law that like protects people's data from this kind of stuff? Like there really ought to be, because you can do some pretty terrible things when you get your hands on people's personal data like this, which
Right.
I totally agree with. And I mean, I know in the past he's painted Monero as like only for cyber criminals, so obviously he's not, I don't think he's fully educated on privacy and private cryptocurrencies and the benefits that they offer. But
Well, that's a popularity thing, like he does what people are,
yeah, no, you're right. He does, yeah.
the trend, like
Whatever's
whatever is
trendy.
trending. Yeah.
Nice
And
to
it's
see
like,
that data privacy is trendy, though.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So yep,
Cool.
that's that one. What's this other one here? Oh yeah, the Fiat Shamir signatures, or I don't fully understand this. I'm gonna be
okay. So it's just a zero knowledge proof. No, I had to look into it myself. Because at first I was just laughing. I'm like, Fiat Shamir, like you should never deal with anything called Fiat. But yeah, no, I looked into it. It's just a zero knowledge proof. And actually, if you scroll down, there's an article I can probably link that that explains it really well with like a tennis player analogy, like the prover and the verifier. It's just easy to understand with like pictures and like a real world example of how this works. I love when they break it down and it's like not a high level.
Gotcha. So it looks like it transforms interactive ZK proofs into non-interactive ones. Oh, duh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, just go scroll to the images, because then you're gonna get it.
All right. Okay.
So like you see, one player is the verifier and the other is the prover.
Okay. So the prover hits the ball to the verifier. So there's the prover hits the ball to the verifier. Okay. The verifier sends a random return back to the prover, random speed, location, amount of spin, blah, blah, blah. The prover must return the ball to a targeted spot on the court. If the prover hits the target, the verifier classes them as a good tennis player. If they do not hit the mark, they're classified as a bad tennis player.
They suck, right? So it's easier to understand like this.
So they've got it. Okay, so he's hitting it over to the prover. There's a bunch of spit on it, and then the prover has to hit that, and it's got to hit the little target. Okay.
Yeah. And so what happened? I guess sometimes there these the Fiat Shamir implementation is vulnerable to like specific, very subtle like bugs, and so something happened. They weren't very clear, but there's a list. If you go back to the tweet, there's a list of the second one. It's a second one.
The second what?
A little bit high up. This one. Ah.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah. So there were Zango, ING Bank, SegBit Labs, Adjoint, Dust Network, IDEN3, and Consensus were affected by this.
Okay.
Yeah. They all seem to submit their patches, and their it should be okay now, but still it was a close call.
Gotcha. But it didn't affect Monero because Monero is using these different
yeah, someone very smart in Monero Monero development team decided not to implement Fiat Shamir because it's so vulnerable, and so so we don't have to worry about this, but still it's something that affected bulletproofs.
Gotcha. All right, good to know. That is a helpful update. I love the tennis analogy. You're right, that did make sense.
Yeah, you see with Monero is I always get that 5 minutes when I'm like, okay, I get it now. Like I truly get it. And then I find something else. I'm like, I don't understand anything anymore.
I don't get it again. Definitely been there. I've definitely been there. Cool. All right. So next one. Oh yeah, this is a cool one too. Coincards, buying gift cards here. The
putting on my shades.
Number one, nice. Number one cryptocurrency being used is Monero, and it's literally over half of all of the cryptos being used. So
that's all us, MoneroTopia.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome. Come see us later at MoneroTopia. We're just spending Monero on the circular economy. There's your circular economy again.
Yes.
That's awesome. And yeah,
so
and the cool thing with Coincards are here. You want to tell? I mean, what's the cool thing about Coincards, Jill?
Is that you can spend it anywhere. So like you can directly spend buy any kind of voucher. Just if you visit, with XMR directly, and then you can buy your groceries with it. And it's so simple. You should. I mean, Dash has an app too, which I kind of like it, but I don't like Dash. So
right.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, hundreds of gift cards. So you can take
like
Monero,
Supers, Safeway.
You can do Amazons. You can do.
I don't know if Supers has it. I know Safeway does for sure. I think Supers does it too.
Bed Bath and Beyond. I go to there a lot. Just kidding.
Home Depot.
I do go to Home Depot for sure. Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And they are available in Canada too.
Yeah, well, it looks like they're available in a bunch of different places. Wow, you can get up to $1,000.
Yeah, you got a KYC for that though.
Got it. The redeeming.
You see, required a second payment method added. So yeah.
Oh yeah, and if you use a VPN or Tor, Amazon suspends you. Thanks, Jeffrey. What a dingus.
Right? Cool. No, it's so scary now with like these targeted ads and stuff. Like I told you what happened with we talked about something and they just started advertising.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't believe it because I'm like, this is not something that I ever mentioned. Like, so I called a friend and we just started like mentioning random things like baby food and stuff that we wouldn't talk about, right? So I want to see now if they start advertising me baby food or like something like that.
Yeah, well, there was, and that same John Oliver segment, they were talking about like some financial like planner who's like a single guy and not dating anyone, but he bought some baby wipes to clean up his office one time. And then
Mm.
like the data brokers flagged him as like having a baby, and he started getting like all of these like ads for, like diapers and baby food and like daycare and like all of this stuff. And he's like, I just bought one pack of baby wipes. Like, what the what the heck?
God.
But yeah, it's very intrusive. And I mean, in a weird way, I'm glad that it's only being used to like sell me stuff, because it would be so easy to do like what China's doing and have a social credit score. And like, this poor people in Shanghai, like they're being surveilled by drones with facial recognition. And if they like go out on their porch without a mask on, the drone like recognizes their face and then like automatically like finds them and takes it out of their bank account without them being able to do anything. Like they're being fined in real time, like by some drone just flying around in the sky that they can't even see. Like, how terrifying is that?
They are prisoners.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. And actually, I don't want to get too much into it, because that is one of our actually, I think that's our next one. That's our last one.
Yeah, no, I wanted to remind people. I don't think a lot of people from China can't even access the internet, but not as we do it anyway.
Right.
But Lokinet is available. I checked. It's still like, thank God, for whatever reason, CCP hasn't noticed Lokinet, and Lokinet.org is still not blocked by the Great Firewall.
So, and it functions similar to Tor or like a VPN or something. Like it allows you to browse unfiltered internet.
Exactly, and it's a lot faster, and it operates on the network layer. So means that it can onion write any kind of IP-based protocol. So TCP, UDP, ICPM. Yeah, it's actually better, and it's what integrates with. It's what Oxen is using, and Session as well. You see, I made this chart for them.
I know, they're like, hey, thanks.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of good things about Lokinet. I had not.
You like the onions there?
Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's great. I mean, I don't use them regularly. I probably should, since they're way faster, it looks like. But I don't know. I'm familiar with Tor, so it's hard to switch.
Tor is just so slow.
Yeah, it does. There's definitely some speed issues depending on what you're trying to do. But yeah, I gotta. Every time you bring up Lokinet, I'm always like, I gotta start using them, and then I just go back to using what I know.
Yeah. But I figured, if they want to buy Monero, because I know they can't access crypto either. It's just, I wish I could give them a hug. Well, like all those people, like they can't even leave to get food for their kids. Like, oh.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I would have lost it by now.
It's pretty shocking what's happening, because I think they extended the lockdowns. It was only supposed to go to like April 5th, and then they extended them, and people are like, well, I only had enough food to the 5th, and like I can't go check on my grandmother, like what's going on? And they walk outside, and like their bank account is just getting like dinged for every time they're like getting identified by their face, like walking around trying to do stuff. And like
people are jumping out and committing suicide because they can't deal with it. Jesus. I mean, there was a video, it was just like a number of people who just jumped out because they can't, like they just can't cope with it anymore.
Gosh, yeah, I'm sorry friends in Shanghai. I hope it gets better. I feel for you.
They kind of let it happen though, because things were going in this direction for the past. I mean, if you think about it, the Soviet Union had communism for 70 years, and this has been, I think, over 90 years it's been going on, and they just always, think that if they comply, if they just do this and do that, then it's gonna go away, and it just got worse and worse.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, that's I hope it gets better for them, and but it's, you know, I'm not over there. I don't have access to the firsthand information, so I'm gonna try not to speculate too much. But yeah, that sucks. I hate seeing people suffer, whether it's, you know, in the Ukraine or Shanghai or wherever. It's never, that's not what not how it should be, but that's how it often is. So I think with that, unless you got anything else, Csill, I've covered everything we wanted to.
Yeah, no, I know Tor has a guide on how to use it, but Lokinet is just directly available. So if you know crypto fam in China, then let them know to use Lokinet.
Absolutely. Sounds good. All right, y'all. We will catch you next time, and thanks for watching. See ya.